Hello, this is Team Hisab Kitab presenting our Kavish project Accounting Dynamite 2.0. Team Hisab Kitab consists of 5 members: Hasan Haider, Bakhtawar Shafqat, Abira Jefferey, Laiba Fatima, and Inara. This is the overview of this presentation. We will start off by introducing the project. Then we will discuss the requirements that were given to us by the client. Then we will start explaining the final module of the project. This will help us to understand the project better. Next, we will talk about the flow of use of this application. Then we will show the working demo of our project. For this, we will show both modules, user security module and the main module. Accounting Dynamite is accounting software created by the software house SDS or Software Development Services in early 1980s. This software currently has a huge client base of more than 140 customers. The main reason for the popularity of this accounting software is the fact that it meets the accounting stature requirements of Pakistan.
Despite its early popularity, the customers are now facing problems with this software. The software house has therefore given us some requirements for the updation of this software. The biggest issue is the compatibility. ADS is no longer compatible with 64-bit machines. This software is also facing troubles in terms of obsolete UI UX interface. Another big issue with this software is that it has separate inventory and accounting modules which can be difficult for the users to navigate and manage. Keeping in mind all these requirements, Team Hisab Kitab decided to remake this software from scratch using cutting-edge technology to ensure its compatibility with the latest machines. We have made an updated version of better UI UX interface, and this interface was updated such that the clients do not lose familiarity with the software. The accounting and inventory modules are now integrated into one single module to allow ease of use. Other than this, we have managed to use the data that was previously laying unused by performing some basic analytical techniques like calculation of various accounting ratios. Moving on, the user begins with creating a database. Then, the user will open the accounting balance, after which the user will perform and store transactions. Then, the user can generate invoices or print the receipts. Now, the user will also be able to calculate different accounting ratios. And finally, the user can save the database as backup.
This is the entity relationship diagram of the user security module. This module will be used by the company administration for security purposes. So the admin can create user accounts, and the information for each user will be stored in the DB users table. The admin will assign various roles and rights to each of the users. A user will be able to view, add, edit, modify, or remove, or print based on the rights it has been given. Every time a user logs into the system, the main module, the user log table stores the user's information as well as the user login date and time. For each activity that is performed by the user, the user log activities table will store the information regarding any updates that the user has done in the system. The module also allows the admin to view all the databases stored in the system, and it also allows them to create new databases. This is the standard for our clients to create new databases for each fiscal year and save them as backup at the end of the year. So this was the user security module. This is the entity relationship diagram of the main module. The account heads table is used to store the details of every account title. Each account head is allocated a parent head. Therefore, there's a table parent head that is used to store the parent heads of both account head and inventory. Let's say a user wants to create an account for a Honda Civic car. So the user will get an option to select from any of these account parent heads, and they can add the Honda Civic car in one of these categories. So for Honda Civic car, we know that it will come under motor and vehicles. So the parent head of the Honda Civic car would be motor and vehicles. And depending on the parent head that is chosen by the user, the attributes of that account would be different. So for motor and vehicles, we know that what the attributes that we need are, for example, the chassis number, the engine number, etc. We will also have, for motors and vehicles card, we will also have a depreciation card that will include the information regarding the purchase date, the life of vehicle, the salvage value, the yearly rate of depreciation, the method of depreciation that can be either the straight line method or the written value method. Now, if you want to create an account head of a different type, let's say you want to create an account head of a user, the attributes would be different. So for a user, your account parent head would be this account receivable and trade receivable, right? So to save the personal details of the customers, you will be using the address card instead of the depreciation or the account attribute card. You will be using the address card. In the address card, you will have information like the phone number, the address, the email, and the credit limit, etc. Now, businesses that deal in selling either goods that are processed raw materials, or they produce finished goods, or they do retail businesses, they all need some sort of inventory management. Hence, our software also caters to the inventory management system. The inventory heads table is used to store information about each inventory title, such as its parent head code, its specification, its specification type, etc. The inventory attribute, yes, the inventory attribute table stores the properties of each inventory item, such as the stock unit, the unit cost, the retail price, the units available, the account head that it belongs to, etc. The inventory specification that we have over here, the inventory specification stores the further details of the items. Then we have a table called the approval authorities. This table stores the details of the person responsible for approvals, which is usually the accountant. Then we also have a documents table, which is over here. This table stores the type of transactions which could take place. There are 7 types of transactions. For example, the opening balance, the receipt, payment, general voucher, sales voucher, purchase voucher, and debit note. The account transaction header is used to store the common information, such as the document number, the document type, the approval authorities, etc. The account transaction body that we have over here, the account transaction body table will be used to store data that is specific to each transaction, such as the amount, the related account head ID, the account header ID, the system date and time. Similarly, we have the inventory header table, inventory transaction header table, which is over here. So this inventory transaction header table is used to store the document information, such as the document type, the authority ID, the document number, etc. The inventory transaction body table is used to store specific information of each transaction, such as the quantity, the per unit price, the amount, etc. The inventory transaction footer that we have over here is used to store the information of the entire document, such as the account head ID, the total amount associated to it, etc. We also have a book properties table. This is used to record the details of the accounting books, such as cash book or bank book, and it includes information such as the title, the account head ID, the voucher series to be credited or debited, which basically depends on the type of accounting system, that is single entry system or double entry system. There are additional terms and conditions table and taxation table. These provide information that are optional to be added to any of the transactions.
The user security module allows us to create databases and set their properties, list users and add new users, and it also keeps track of user logins and activities. First, the user tab. Through this tab, we can see user details and also add new users. Let's take a look at the list users. We can select different users and set their rights, and we can also print the user details. The Logs tab provides the record of user logins and activities. If we don't select a specific users, it shows logs for all users. But we can also specifically select users and search for their logs like so.
This is the login page of Accounting Dynamite 2.0. The admin has the rights to perform add, modify, remove, and print functions in each form. This is the Select Database screen in which the user selects the database he or she wants to work in. Accounting Dynamite 2.0 has 9 different tabs, each of which perform different accounting and inventory functionalities. The Charting tab is the basic and most important tab in which we create account heads, define their attributes, and assign corresponding parent heads to them. The accounts and inventory parent heads are defined in correspondence with the statutory requirements. In case the user wants to add any other titles, ADS 2.0 also allows users to customize it. Now let us create an account head. We've created a customer account, also known as trade receivables in accounting terminology. We will now define the attributes of our customer: his address, contact information, and photo for recognition, and the credit limit in terms of days or numbers. After defining our account heads, we will enter its opening balance. That is, my customer owes me XYZ amount of money at the beginning of this year. Now in the beginning, we will manually enter the opening balances. In the future years, our closing balances will be carried forwarded as opening balances to the next accounting year. Now ADS 2.0 provides two ways to record accounting transactions, either through books or through vouchers. There are two types of books: single entry and double entry. The user must first configure the book properties to start recording transactions. Let us look at an example. ADS 2.0 supports the generation of 7 different types of vouchers: receipt, payment, purchase, sales, journal vouchers, provisions, and adjustment vouchers. Let us look at a very simple example of receipt vouchers with pre-entered transactions. For the ease of use, the entries in the amount column with a negative sign symbolize a credit transaction, and the entries without a negative sign symbolize a debit amount. The transaction approval and marking options are used to mark the transactions, after which they are locked and cannot be edited again. This is to prevent any possibility of fraud by editing transactions in the backdate. The purchases, sales, and production consumption tabs are the part of inventory side of the software, which will be explained in the upcoming video. ADS 2.0 generates around 50 plus different reports. Data analysis in ADS 2.0 is done through accounting ratios. 5 different categories of accounting ratios are used to perform a detailed analysis of the company's financial position. Let us look at the liquidity ratios. Current ratio.
Then we have the Purchases tab. For different purchase orders, the user can enter purchase details in the database. The purchase order number is saved. After the goods are received, we can create good receipt note with respect to the purchase order using purchase order number. After that, we can get purchase bill approvals by referring to good receipt number, and once approved, the accounts transaction is created.